morning when someone opened their curtains and saw a small witch-like figure standing silently in the field, staring directly through the window with glowing white eyes. Her face is round and expressionless. Her footsteps leave no prints on the wet grass. Shocked that her eyes emitted their own light instead of reflecting it. Some compared her to changeling folklore, creatures that mimic children but behave strangely to lure families outside. Behind a school building in Ohio, when students walking home noticed a witch floating above the metal roof, her ragged cloak drifting like torn plastic caught in slow wind. Her hair frizzes outward in a wild halo. Her white face stays perfectly still. Her feet hang straight downward as if she's being lifted by invisible wires. When scientists scanned the video, they were shocked that her cloak billowed in patterns that didn't match the recorded wind data at all. Locals compared her to an old folktale called The Drifter, a witch said to follow rooftops to watch families she never had.
Wakes to movement outside his window. He grabs his phone and records what may be the most terrifying footage we've ever seen. There, pacing slowly back and forth, is a tall, black-eyed figure, humanoid, but not human. Its limbs are too long, its head tilted, silent, watching, waiting. It approaches the front door over and over, like it's testing whether it can get in. Thank God for iron bars. Not for those bars. Experts say this being, whatever it is, might have entered the home. And once inside, we don't know what happens next. The video hasn't been verified. We don't know if it's real. But AI analysis shows no signs of digital manipulation. The lighting matches, the shadows align. This wasn't faked on a phone screen or projected from outside. Is it an animal distorted by night vision? Or something worse? UFO researchers call these entities biological drones, android-like extraterrestrials sent here for surveillance, biological harvesting, even abductions under cover of darkness. Some believe they're scientists from another world studying us. They're at our doors. One man claims he's seen one before, that he has proof hidden away too disturbing to release. So tell me, what do you think walked up to that door? Alien? Forest creature caught on camera? Or something Earth never made? Comment below, because one thing's certain, this was not supposed to be filmed, and now that we've seen it, they might know we're watching back. Don't sleep with your windows open tonight.
In this classic 90s Britney Spears music video, Hit Me Baby One More Time, her skirt was plaid, right? Wait, what? No, there's no way. And while we're on Britney Spears, she had a microphone in this video, didn't she? Like, the one that attaches? Where did that go? Oh, you're saying she never had it? Well, then why did Lizzie McGuire have one when she parodied the video? And why did the doll have it? And do you remember Snuffy, Big Bird's companion from Sesame Street? Do you remember his full name? Snuffleupagus, right? Wrong, it was apparently Snuffleupagus. And do you remember Tweedledee and Tweedledum from Alice in Wonderland? And the little propellers on their hats, right? Wrong, they were apparently flags. And you remember the Disney theme opening where Tinkerbell flies in and dots the I? I guess Disney says that actually never happened. My guess is maybe we're confusing it with this one. Let me know which ones you remember.
Alright guys, breaking news out there to all you parents, okay? They just found out that Lunchables have lead in them, okay? And that's not all. So we made an announcement today, after a test of 12 store-bought versions of Lunchables and similar lunch and snack kits found relatively high levels of lead, cadmium, and sodium. Not good. Additionally, all but one of the kits contain harmful phthalates, a group of chemicals found in plastics that the National Institute of Health states is detrimental to human health and can lead to reproductive problems, diabetes, obesity, certain types of cancer, and more. But wait, there's more. A spokesperson for Kraft Heinz, maker of Lunchables, tells people that the company is taking great steps to improve the nutrition profile of Lunchables by reducing the sodium of the crackers by 26%. Forget the fact they have lead in them and chemicals from plastic that are detrimental to your children's health. Guys, this is a problem.
So you don't think anything happened crazy during the eclipse today? Well, are you sure you were paying attention? Because I captured something crazy. This is the sun. That's a lens flare. So you tell me what that is. It's not a lens flare. And I've been saying for a while that the sun we see is just a projection from the sun in the firmament. And not only did I catch it, but my friend Brandon Thomas, who has the Expanding Reality podcast, used a solar filter and not only caught one, but he caught two. And you guys might not be Bible believers, and that's okay, because I wasn't either, until I realized we didn't live on a globe. But if you look at what the Bible says, it talks about the sun being in the firmament. And not only that, but there being layers of the firmament. So if the sun was in the firmament, maybe we are seeing the reflections in the different layers of the firmament, where usually
Abandoned cabin
we
in
just see
Arkansas, when a hunter saw a witch-like figure moving along the outer wall, her long robe dragging across the ground like wet fabric. Her nose is crooked and sharp. Her hands curl like claws, ready to grab something. Her body leans forward, unnaturally far without falling. Scientists who scanned the footage were shocked that her movements looked sped up, even though the video plays at normal speed. Some locals believe she matches descriptions of the Hollow Witch, a creature said to linger around cabins, looking for warm air escaping. A black and white clip was filmed decades ago in rural Romania and shows a witch floating above an old chapel roof, her long coat hanging straight like a dark pendulum. Her legs don't bend, her hair doesn't move, her shadow drops across the roof even though the sun is behind her. When scientists later scanned the old film, they were shocked to find the shadow didn't match her position, shifting slightly each frame as if something else was floating beside her. Some said she resembled Striga legends, witch-like spirits known for haunting isolated churches. A wandering spirit said to rise near graves searching for what she lost.
For those who don't know, there was a song released in 1990 titled Watch Out for 666. The song basically exposed the idea of the New World Order implanting computer chips in people's brains. It was very similar to what Elon Musk is trying to do with Neuralink. And when looking at numerology, the letter X is usually associated with the number 6. And when looking at the companies that Elon Musk owns, X, SpaceX, and then Tesla, you got the Model X. It rounds up to 666, which made people come to the conclusion that Neuralink might be the mark of the beast.
Might be the craziest thing ever. And it also might be evidence that we're living in a simulation. Mind you, what I'm about to tell you, I've known about it my whole entire life. And most likely you have too. Go back in your mind and think of the first letter S that you learned how to draw. Not right. The first S that you learned how to draw. 3 lines on top, 3 lines on bottom, triangle, triangle, blah, blah, blah. Matter of fact, look at this. You remember this S. Because everybody in any school, anywhere, knows this S. When I was in school, they taught us how to draw this S. When my kids was in school, they taught them how to draw that S. They're saying that allegedly, supposedly, that S is the logo for the company that runs the simulation here. You didn't hear what I just said, right? This S right here is the logo of the company that runs this simulation here. Now, of course, I don't know how true this is, but think about this. How does everybody know about this S right here? Who made this S right here? And it's real convenient that this is the first graffiti piece that we learned how to draw when we were younger. Why did they teach us this? Why is that the easiest piece to draw?
This is the reason why you should never get out of the house if you're in bed late night. This woman heard strange sounds coming from outside and decided to come out to see what was happening. To her surprise, there was actually a strange man hiding on her porch that spooked the woman back inside the house. Would you have done the same thing?
Hikers said the moment they walked past an abandoned cabin, a witch-like figure appeared standing on the roof with her cloak spread wide like giant wings. Her mask-like face tilts slowly toward the camera. Her tangled hair blows in directions the wind isn't moving. Her robe shifts like smoke. When the footage went viral, scientists scanned it and were shocked that her body showed no heat signature at all. Some viewers compared her to the Alpha Block tales from Old Norse stories, where witch figures appear during fog-heavy nights near abandoned homes, and found a witch crouched on his rooftop, holding a twisted staff shaped like broken branches. Her long hat leans forward like it's pointing at him. Her skeletal fingers grip the shingles. Her eyes shine faintly green as if reacting to the low morning light. When the clip was scanned by scientists, they were shocked to see her staff vibrate slightly, even though she wasn't moving it. Some locals compared her to the Black Annie folklore, a witch said to sit above homes before storms to
While
count the
exploring an
families below.
abandoned shipyard, two YouTubers, Exploration Unknown and Breaking the Shell, had no idea they were about to capture one of the most terrifying moments ever recorded in their exploration videos. Throughout the exploration, both of them repeatedly mentioned feeling like they weren't alone. They heard strange sounds, faint footsteps, and whispers seemingly coming from a distance. Although they didn't see anyone, the atmosphere grew increasingly tense, and the most bizarre moment was a mysterious figure that was caught on camera. Take a look at the video.
It's creepy, Tim. Gosh. This is insane. I know. There's got to be somebody in here with us. He's just got to be.
There's that room that's over that way. When you were looking at that...
You want to go? Oh, there's an elevator shaft over here. Let's go. That's what I thought. There's something out here.
As they were discussing which direction to explore next, a dark figure suddenly peeked out from behind a pillar. At first glance, it looked like just a shadow, but its form was too solid to be just a trick of the light. What's terrifying is that the two explorers didn't notice it at all and simply walked away. But just a few minutes later, they encountered something that made them run in fear.
I think it's time to wrap it up. I don't know what kind of danger we're in. I'm pretty sure someone's here, and I do not know what their intentions are, nor do I want to find out what their intentions are. Did that come from over here? Holy shit, dude, get out of here! God, oh my God, dude! Oh God, dude, let's go.
As captured on camera, the figure reappeared, tall, dark, and faceless. It stood motionless in the corner of the room, this time much closer than before. Even though its form wasn't completely clear, its presence was enough to make anyone feel deeply uneasy, especially in a dark, long-abandoned building. The two young men immediately panicked when they realized the figure was there. Without a second thought, they ran out of the factory, leaving the camera on and still recording.
A so-called werewolf cub that people thought was fake or staged, but the shock came when reports claimed the baby was born to normal human parents. Thick hair covered its body, with whisker-like features and sharp nails already visible. People gathered around, confused and uneasy, trying to understand what they were seeing. No one could explain how a child could arrive like this without any outside influence. The sight alone was enough to make many step back. It didn't feel imagined. It felt like something that shouldn't exist, yet somehow did. Late one night in rural Mexico, a farm security camera captured a tall, thin figure at the gate. Its pale skin and impossibly long arms reached forward, glowing eyes scanning for entry, a stretched mouth adding to the terror.
The feeling of solitude can be great sometimes, right? Until you spot something that just shouldn't be there. This footage was shot on an old phone. The image is a bit shaky, but the atmosphere is thick with a heavy sense of unease. In the middle of the wet sand lies a massive hunk of flesh with dozens of thick tentacles, spreading out like the uprooted roots of an ancient tree. Its skin is pale and semi-transparent, crisscrossed with scars like it just survived a life or death battle at the edge of the world. What caught my eye wasn't even its shape, but the silence. Not a single seagull dared to get close. Usually, birds swarm rotting carcasses immediately, but here, it seems a rectangular steel tank filled with cloudy blue water. Several people in protective gear stand around it, clearly keeping their distance. Inside the tank, a creature reveals its head and upper body. It remains still for several seconds, slowly turning its head to look directly at the people watching. Then it begins to move. One arm swings down into the water, sending a violent splash against the tank walls. Almost immediately, it starts thrashing repeatedly, water exploding upward as its upper body rises higher above the surface. The people nearby step back instinctively. The peak moment comes when the creature opens its mouth wide and releases a sound that is unclear whether it is a scream or heavy breathing. The camera shakes slightly as the person filming retreats. The video ends right there. No explanation, no follow-up. Down in Australia, folks are used to weird creatures, but even a local pastor like Alex Tin had to admit he just found an alien on Maroochydore Beach. And when a man of God starts talking about extraterrestrials, you know things just got serious. In the video, the body lying on the sand looks absolutely grotesque. There's no fur left, and the wrinkled skin reveals a long skull and a pointed snout that looks almost reptilian. Those curved claws tucked under the body would make anyone think of a creature straight out of a sci-fi horror flick. The more grounded folks claimed it was just the remains of a kangaroo or a wallaby that lost its fur after being in the water too long. But you know how it is. When you see something like that with your own eyes in the middle of the day, logic usually goes right out the window.
Out of here. You're not coming out until you tell me who you really are. You know that. Don't pretend you don't. So get me out of here already. Something new happens on this ranch every day.
Get away. That thing is a wall. If you don't open that corral, don't complain later.
A tall witch floated silently on top of the rusty roof, as if the metal wasn't even beneath her feet. Her pale face glows unnaturally white. Her hair hangs straight like wet rope. Scientists scanned every frame and were shocked that her shadow didn't fall on the trailer at all. Some people compared her to the Boo Hag from Gullah folklore, a witch said to drift above homes searching for people who sleep lightly. A covered farm in Maine, where a witch-like figure hovered several feet above the ground, her black cloak hanging straight as if frozen in place. Her face is pale and expressionless. Her hands curl slightly like she's holding something invisible. Her body drifts forward slowly, even though the wind blows in the opposite direction. Scientists who scanned the footage were shocked that the fog parted around her shape without touching her cloak. Some viewers compared her to Slavic Vedma tales, witch figures known to move through fog-heavy cemetery in Pennsylvania, when a ghost hunter scanned his camera between gravestones and captured a witch floating perfectly centered between two crosses. Her torn sleeves sway like thin branches. Her mask-like face doesn't move at all. Her breath doesn't fog the air. When scientists scanned the clip, they were shocked her cloak rippled, even though the fog around her stayed still. Some viewers said she matched descriptions of the Morrigan in Irish mythology, a witch-like spirit linked to death and battlefields. In the middle of the flat, sand lies a shape that I bet even Hollywood horror movies haven't dared to dream up yet. It's not a fish, and it's not a squid. At the center is a rounded body, and from there, a mass of thick tentacles grows out, stretching in every direction like the roots of an ancient tree trying to claw into the earth. Its skin is pale and semi-transparent, the kind of color you only see on creatures that have never laid eyes on the sun. Its body is covered in scratches and dark patches, looking like it just went through a life or death struggle in the abyss before the waves washed it up here. You know, usually seagulls will swarm anything with a hint of fishy flesh that hits the shore. But here, not a single bird in sight. The whole beach seems to be actively avoiding as normal as it gets. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the most intense military flashpoints on the planet. Amidst those US warships armed to the teeth, cameras caught a sight that isn't in any tactical manual. A group of sailors were using heavy iron chains to haul a creature up. Looking at the way those chains were straining and snapping, you could practically feel the weight of the thing. It was long, pale, and slick, reflecting the sunlight in a way that just looked wrong. But when the camera zoomed in, good lord, I wish I hadn't seen that part. On that massive body were two structures that looked exactly like human heads. Two distorted, pale faces with mouths hanging wide open, black like a bottomless pit. There's been zero official word from the military. They've stayed silent, just like they always do with things that shouldn't exist.
Was truly horrifying.
Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un encore qui habite ici? Waouh, l'état de la cave. C'est quoi ça?
In the clip, you can see him carefully moving through the silent house. The wooden floor creaks beneath his steps, and the air feels unnaturally still. Then he heads to the basement. This is where everything changes. From the dark corner of the room, a figure appears. Something unnatural. A pale, twisted creature peeking from the edge, watching and waiting. Before the ghost hunter could react, the creature lunged at him. The recording cuts off abruptly. What happened next remains unknown.
In rural Idaho, when a family drove through thick morning fog and filmed a witch-shaped figure running toward them with long, tangled hair, swinging wildly from side to side. Her pale mask-like face appears and disappears between pockets of fog. Her arms drag low as if too heavy for her body. Her feet don't make a single sound on the dirt. Scientists scanned the clip and were shocked to find no clear outline. Her body shifts shape slightly with every frame. Some viewers compared her to the Leshy from Slavic myths, a forest spirit said to hide inside fog.
Consciousness isn't inside your brain. It commands 50 trillion cells that execute every thought as divine order. Godard discovered that when you internally declare, I am healthy, or I am prosperous, you're not making empty affirmations, but directly programming your biology through energy fields measurable by science. Terminally ill patients cure themselves completely just by assuming the feeling of already being healed, activating dormant longevity genes. Your controlled imagination reshapes your physical reality when you truly feel yourself to be what you desire. Every emotion generates specific chemistry that your cells interpret as executive commands. You govern a microscopic civilization that religiously obeys your dominant perceptions. But nobody teaches you how to consciously assume control of this ancestral power.
Modern medicine has utterly failed by treating you as a defective biological machine in need of external repairs, when in fact, you are the supreme commander of a microscopic civilization of 50 trillion inhabitants that blindly obey your mental commands. This is not a poetic metaphor, but a biological reality that shatters all the foundations of genetic determinism and places in your hands a power that conventional science prefers to ignore. For decades, we have been conditioned to believe that our health, our destiny, and our reality are the products of external forces over which we have little to no control. Defective genes, invading viruses, unfavorable circumstances, all these elements supposedly shape us as passive victims of a random and cruel universe. But this narrative is not only false, it has been responsible for keeping humanity in a state of unnecessary powerlessness. The truth emerging from the world's most advanced laboratories reveals a completely different reality. You are not a singular entity fighting against external forces, but rather an organized multitude of trillions of microscopic beings that respond instantly to the commands issued by your consciousness. Every thought you generate, every emotion you experience, every belief you hold is immediately transformed into specific biochemical instructions that your 50 trillion cells receive and execute with a precision that would be the envy of the most sophisticated computing system ever created. This discovery represents not just an evolution in scientific understanding, but a complete revolution in the comprehension of what it means to be human. When the ancient masters declared that you will know the truth and the truth will set you free, they were not referring to a merely philosophical liberation, but to the practical discovery that we are the direct architects of our own biological and existential experience. The immediate relevance of this understanding transcends any previous medical discovery. If you are dealing with health issues, problematic relationships, financial limitations, or any form of suffering that seems beyond your control, the revelation that you are the ruler of a vast cellular civilization that obeys your conscious directives offers a real and practical way